What is up, everybody? We have called all nerds, and you have answered the call if you are listening to us live, or if you're listening to us through YouTube, through Spotify, through iTunes. We're on all the things, but we have lit the beacon in the sky, if you will. We are your friendly neighborhood hosts that talk about everything within the entertainment zeitgeist, and we are so excited to talk about some amazing stuff tonight. Tyler and I, as we just stated, are now on episode 12 of Calling All Nerds. It's very exciting. And real quick, before we jumped into the question of the week, because I actually don't think we did that last week, and I definitely want to make sure we jump on it. But if you are listening to us through YouTube, please feel free to subscribe, give us a like, punch that notification bell, whatever you have, just so that you could help us continue to grow over the next coming weeks. We're happy to do this just because it's a nice outlet for us to talk about the things we love, but it's always really fun to grab new listeners. As well as if you listen to us on Spotify or iTunes, please give us a review if you wish, as well as subscribe there as well.
All right. We are kicking it off strong. I like it.
I'm trying to do my best formal voice, but
No, it works. It works really well.
I'm glad it sounded like it.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I was going to ask, did you have a question of the week?
I do not. You got anything in mind?
Yeah, I do actually. I know that before this we were talking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 1.
Yeah.
Which we'll delve into a little further down in the episode. But I don't know if I've ever asked you this before, but who is your favorite Avenger? Now, and let me rephrase. I know Spider-Man is your all-time favorite superhero.
Yeah.
So after Spider-Man,
yeah,
who is your favorite Avenger?
Captain America is.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
I really enjoy, I guess, what Captain America stands for. Whenever I play video games or if I do like D&D or anything, I always love to go for that lawful good kind of, I forgot what it's called, but way of playing the games. I always like the good characters. And
oh yeah,
I don't know, I just I enjoy that he stands for the good, and it's not fake by no means. He doesn't cut the corners or anything like that to make things go the way. It always just seems like he does truly try to be the best that he can be and be on the righteous side of things and stuff.
That's awesome.
I like that he makes a shield look cool. It's kind of like in Shield Hero,
Yep. Oh yeah.
It's the character gets the shield and you're like, oh, that's lame, but he makes it really cool, and his strength is awesome. I just really enjoy Captain America. I think he's a really fun Avenger that's strong, but you definitely tell that he'd be someone that you would want to follow and be in his footsteps, kind of a thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love that.
What about for you?
For me, as someone I've really never read the comics, so all of this is just based off of my cinematic universe Marvel experience.
Yeah.
I really have to go with Iron Man, with Tony Stark. I know it's kind of the easy route to take, but I just kind of love him as a foil to Captain America. They're almost complete opposites in a lot of ways. I mean, they still both try to do the right thing all the time, but I just love Tony's I guess weakness. I like that he's a very vain, self-centered person, but always tries to do the right thing and is always thinking about protecting as many people as he possibly can because of the things that he has created and done through those things. So I always really loved the story, and one of the reasons why I think Endgame is such a perfect ending to this last saga of movies before we head into this new one is because it really is Tony at the heart of it all. I always felt that Captain America was the leader, but Tony or Iron Man was the heart.
Yeah.
And I really loved I just loved how they ended it kind of where it began, with I Am Iron Man, where he just kind of even after all the PTSD, the scaredness, because like he says many times, like he's just a man in a suit, like in an iron suit, like he's just a normal person, and who is a billionaire, of course, but like you know, like he doesn't have any superpowers. He's just in a really high tech suit,
Yeah.
and to see him kind of face down Thanos at the end and just see his story go full circle and him. Spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen Endgame, but passing on, like saving the world, it's kind of beautiful, and I really loved that for his character. I don't know who can replace him as we move forward as like the new center. Part of me hopes it's Spider-Man, but we'll see. But yeah, he's my favorite.
Nice. Yeah, it will be. You do bring up a good point of like maybe not replace, but like who's going to also be that type of character. That will be interesting. I have no idea.
Yeah,
and no idea what to do. But we haven't had any like movies since. I mean, I know we had the one Spider-Man, but outside of that, because there's so many new characters they're trying to bring into it, so it's going to be
right.
I hope it's kind of like one of the characters that already were around, but I don't know. We'll see. Marvel's got a plan already, so.
Oh yeah, they got some kind of master plan figuring out. So.
Yeah, they always got something going on.
Oh yeah. Oh, but yeah, I was thinking we could go ahead and jump into our main topics. But what we are going over tonight, we have 4 main topics. It probably won't be too long of a show tonight. They're really, like we said a few weeks ago, it's kind of just a slow year so far, like it is for new console gaming. But we wanted to talk about Bethesda games that are now on Game Pass. Also, Tyler brought up a really cool site that I've never heard of before, but this is super awesome. But talking about the 2021 World Video Game Hall of Fame finalists. We're then going to jump into another Avengers topic of Crystal Dynamics Avengers finally getting new content. I want to talk a little bit about that, as well as just a few little other exciting news that came out of Square Enix's state of, I don't even know if you'd call it state of play. They kind of do it there. I think it's Square Enix Presents. And then we wanted to finish up with just a quick recap of our thoughts on the first episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, spoiler free. And I'm sure we'll probably do another like full-fledged spoiler review at the end of this series as well, like we did with WandaVision, but just wanted to kind of give our thoughts on the first episode there. But to start out, I wanted to go ahead and talk with you, Tyler, about the new. Well, we knew this was coming. We knew that, I believe it was ZeniMax. Is that the parent company? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that Xbox has bought out ZeniMax, which meant that Bethesda is now under Xbox as well. So we knew this was coming. But something that was unexpected, at least on my end, was that 20 Bethesda games are either, I think they're in there now, are now on Xbox Game Pass, all for free for anyone that has it, and these games are like big games, like none of these are small, and it's kind of crazy that you get all of this content for, I don't even know what it is, like $10 a month or something like that. But I was just going to go down the list real quick of all of these amazing IPs that are now on the Game Pass. So you have Dishonored and Dishonored 2. All of the Doom games, basically. You got Doom 2, Doom 3, Doom 64, Doom Eternal. They literally just... Doom Eternal came out last year, and it's already on Game Pass. You got all of the Elder Scrolls game. You got Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim. You get Elder Scrolls Online, The Evil Within, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, and Fallout New Vegas, Prey, Rage 2, and then the Wolfenstein series, The New Order, The Old Blood, and Young Blood, all within Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, and it looks like of this list, we have New Vegas is the only one that is console only. Morrowind is console and PC, as well as Oblivion and Elder Scrolls Online. Everything else that Max said is PC, Xbox, and what's the thing that they have now? Oh, mobile. So,
Mobile, yeah.
So out of this list of 20, for 4 of them are not on mobile, and only one of them is console only. So that's also like a really big step, because I know Doom Eternal, for one, was a console only, or yeah, was it Doom Eternal? I think it was Doom Eternal was a console only at the time, and so now they've split it out to finally be able to play it anywhere on their systems. So that was a cool jump for that. And then the Morrowind, that's another pretty cool big one for sure as well. And I think that Doom 2016 is already on Game Pass. I thought it was.
Yes, I believe it was. Yeah.
So that completed that
list.
Okay. Yeah. Because Fallout 3, I think. So I think adding Fallout 4 New Vegas just like completed the Fallout list. Out of this list, I was very surprised that Skyrim wasn't already on Game Pass. When I saw that, I was like, oh, it wasn't already on Game Pass? That's interesting. I feel like they put Skyrim on anything.
Yeah, they literally have put Skyrim on anything you can think of. VR, Switch.
Oh, it's like, so funny.
I really want to know the number of players that still play that game steadily. Like, that game is huge.
I know.
Like, and it's been out for what, like a decade now?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember first getting it in, I think it was 2011. Pretty sure it was 2011.
Wow. Holy
yeah.
smokes.
I know, it's wild. So, yeah. So this is pretty cool. You know, they're finally getting some good Bethesda games. This is kind of just going more into what Max and I have been saying from, you know, we come at this at a pretty in the middle of, like, we like to look at all the consoles and how they're doing, but with Game Pass it has kind of been an outlet where Max and I have talked about, okay, like, what are other people going to be doing about this? Like, what does Sony want to do about this? Does Nintendo want to do anything about this? I don't know, what do other people want to, like, do to combat how Game Pass is doing? Obviously, the bigger one is Sony. Like, what do they want to do? Because Sony and Xbox are pretty much the bigger competition, because Nintendo's kind of got its own thing going, which is fine. But we have been talking on this podcast probably for 12 episodes now about how we want something a little bit more from, you know, PlayStation, and they do some cool things. They let some cool stuff out, but it's just, I don't know, I always just feel like they're kind of trailing behind Game Pass. And I know when we talked about ZeniMax and like Bethesda becoming part of Microsoft, we were like, oh yeah, now we're going to have some like exclusivity stuff go on. Game Pass is probably going to get, it's like we knew this was going to happen. We see it, and it's like, still, what is Sony doing, man? Game Pass just keeps getting cooler.
I will say, since we last talked about it, it does look like Sony is making some micro steps, just in what I've seen so far. You know, I feel like PlayStation Plus games are getting better. I mean, heck, you can literally download Final Fantasy VII Remake for free right now. Like,
yeah, that's true.
I can't remember the last time we've had 3 steady months of very high quality free games on PlayStation Plus. This has been by far the best season of PlayStation Plus I've ever seen. Not only that, but I forget what they're calling it, but PlayStation is doing this thing where they are releasing games of theirs for free to everybody, not just PlayStation Plus users. Like, I believe last month they released Ratchet and Clank, the new one, across the board as like a free download for anyone that owns a PlayStation. And this upcoming month of April, they're releasing 10 games. Most of them, granted, are VR, but they're giving away...
Lame.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they're releasing like 5 of them are on VR, but the games themselves are pretty good, and they're giving away Horizon Zero Dawn for free to everyone, the complete edition.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, wow, like that's big. Like, I mean, you know, that game's been out for a long time, not a long time, but like since 2017, I want to say. But that is a A+ game. Like, I mean, like, I love Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh yeah,
And
it's really good.
yeah, and so it is really cool to. It seems like they're trying to figure out how they want to tackle it, because I think this is something they can't ignore anymore. Now that the deal with Bethesda and Xbox is finally set,
Mm-hmm.
like, because it takes time after the purchasing of ZeniMax to kind of roll everything out with the publishers and get all their games on the Xbox system and figure out the exclusivity piece of it. I would be shocked if Sony wasn't like, okay, how are we going to combat this? Because now they have Elder Scrolls, now they have Wolfenstein, now they have Doom, they have Fallout, they have like all these IPs that we can't have on our systems anymore, if that makes sense. And, like, moving forward. And
Yeah.
so I know we've joked about it before, but like, it really in my mind wonders like, okay, well, is Sony on top of something to combat with Game Pass? Are they going to buy in a big studio like Bethesda too? Like is it so crazy to think that maybe they might buy out Capcom? Could they buy out Sega? I don't know. Like those are the two big acquisition names that come to mind, because honestly, when I think Sony, I think Sega, I think Capcom, because a lot of their games are what I play on my PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
And I could be totally wrong, but if they want to compete, and they may not, they may just let it be and continue to create their own amazing IPs that they already have. But if they wanted to play the exclusivity game and combat it, I feel like Sega or Capcom would be like the two biggest ones they could go for right now.
Yeah, and I guess that also, it's not like you and I know what their books look like, right?
Oh, absolutely
Honestly,
not. Yeah.
we could be talking, baloney. Could be fine. Maybe Sony just is like, nah, we're good with our money. We're doing great. Maybe
Yeah.
it's, who knows? I mean,
Yeah. Seriously, who knows? I can tell you right now, though, that Microsoft definitely has more money than Sony. So
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, and it's funny too, because we like to also focus on the gaming part of both Sony and Microsoft when, I mean, they're powerhouses outside of the gaming world too. I mean, you and I are both on Microsoft product computers right now, and you know what I mean.
yeah, that is very true.
So I mean, it's so interesting to think that just how massive these corporations are and how all this stuff goes, and oof, it's cool. It's fun, It's entertaining, which is great because they're meant to be entertaining.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's fun talking about this too. It's fun speculating, like, what is Sony gonna do now? And it's fun to say, like, ooh, like now with Bethesda making one new IP. I always forget its name, Starfield or something like that, or
Yep, Starfield.
Okay.
You got it.
You got that new one coming, and then the new Elder Scrolls, and it's like, oh man, Xbox exclusive? That's crazy. It's like, what? That's so wild. It's just like so much fun just thinking about all this stuff.
It is. No, it definitely is, man. Like I just love the competitiveness of it. Just because like I've said before, like all it does is it helps to keep the competition going between different products, and it just raises the ante on either side so that they're competing with each other, and it just means that it's more stuff for gamers as a whole. I kind of don't love the exclusivity, just because I wish everything was available for everyone to play.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get that studios have to do what they need to do to make money. But it is it's going to be interesting. I'm very interested to see how PlayStation responds, because they keep hinting that they're going to do something to compete with Game Pass, and I don't think they've figured it out yet. I don't think it's going to be this whole, give away a few games for free every month kind of thing that seems kind of random right now.
Yeah.
I definitely think that it would be something that is like a revamp of their PS Now, of saying, okay, like let's just
yeah, it should be like that.
Oh, yeah.
That would be the smart thing for sure, because that PS Now has such good potential, especially with that ability of playing those older titles, like how I always talk about good old Sly Cooper. It's like, it's nice to be able to play that game. It's just crappy to play on that game's servers because they're awful.
Oh,
So
terrible.
it really has so much good potential. And then maybe not all, like 90% of the games I was scrolling through the list, I'm like, man, these are kind of lame. So like, yeah, if they revamp it to function better and then focus on like adding cool stuff to it, because like really, giving away free games is like really fun, and I've been curious to see if Xbox would ever be like, I'm curious to see if like Xbox would stop doing like games each month and just because they have Game Pass, and maybe like change up their whole model eventually. I don't know.
Right.
It'd be interesting to see what they would do. Like almost like if you buy Live, you're given Game Pass, and so they don't even need to have free games every month anymore because like one and the same. It's just I wonder what they would do with that, and I wonder if Sony would do something different where they're like, hey, yeah, if you play, if you get PlayStation Plus, we'll just give you everything. We give you the nows, we give you some other stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that that's a great point. I think that Xbox will probably not do anything that is removing any of their features until they are on more fighting ground with Sony. I think all of the
true.
stuff they're doing, like all of the stuff that they're doing that's very much consumer friendly and consumer facing, I don't think that's going to change until they're racking in the money as fast as they want to be, and then that's kind of when they can be like, oh, okay, well now we're back where we want to be in terms of the race, if it even is a race anymore. It's one of those things where they're just kind of both going their own ways in some way, shape, or form. But it's kind of one of those things where as a business is trying to win over customers as much as it can, it's doing everything it can to give as much stuff to them, and then when it doesn't have to do that anymore, it stops. It's like any business does. I definitely could see what you're talking about happening some way down the road, or like everything being in like one for all package.
Yeah.
But I think Sony's going to do something, either like a revamp of PlayStation Now, maybe combine it with the PlayStation collection of games that you get, that are from the PS4 era. I could definitely see something like that, but I don't know if we're going to see it anytime soon. It'd be nice, but
yeah,
we'll see. I'm just kind of waiting for, because Game Pass right now is basically Netflix for gaming. Like you're paying like one flat rate.
That's a great way to describe it.
Like, and it's just like, it's such a brilliant idea, especially in today's world. And it's just like, why doesn't, I mean, I guess PlayStation is doing that too, but not in any way, shape, or form as good as Game Pass is. So we'll definitely see.
Especially with having non like diskless version consoles, digital only consoles, like that's perfect for it. You need stuff like that to drive the fact of wanting to get your digital console, because like obviously one thing is price. Like, oh yeah, if you go digital only, you get to save some money, but you need to also make it worth saving that money almost in a way.
Right.
And like for me, you and I are already pretty much digital only, so getting like a digital PlayStation. But I mean, who knows? Maybe there definitely could be people out there that are just like, nah, I'm not really into the digital only still. I want to pay for the other one. And it's like, I get it. It's like Sony doesn't really offer too much to make you want to be digital only.
Yeah, seriously. Well, cool. Did you want to? I don't know anything about this, but I really want to learn where you found this. So we can jump into the 2021 World Video Game Hall of Fame finalists. Does this mean that it hasn't been decided yet that these are like all competing against each other, or are all of these games now part of the Hall of Fame?
I think it. Oh, okay. Here we go. Finalists will be announced. Yeah. So. This is we have links to everything inside of like the YouTube stuff and the podcast stuff, so we'll have links to all these things. But the National Museum of Play is a place in New York, and this is where they host the video game, like the World Video Game Hall of Fames. So just recently they announced the finalists. There's 12 games to become inducted into the Hall of Fame, and the actual people who get inducted into it is going to be said on May 6th at 10:30 a.m. I don't know how many of the 12 will get put in. I'm not too sure about that one. But I can at least like read you what's in there now. It looks like they do. I'm looking at it. It looks like almost like one a year, maybe.
That would make sense.
Let me get to the list of what's in there. Inducted games. Here we go. Bejeweled was inducted in 2019. Interesting.
As the winner?
2019 inductees, Bejeweled. Yeah. Where is all the games? Okay, I will say their website's a little annoying. It is not that intuitive.
That's all right. I mean, the link that I have in our thing brings me right to the finalists for this year.
Yeah. So the finalists that we have for this year looks like it's Animal Crossing from the GameCube.
Heck yes.
Call of Duty, the first one. Farmville, the very first FIFA. Guitar Hero 1, great one.
Ooh.
Mattel Football, like the old school like handheld little football game. The original Microsoft Flight Simulator. Pole Position, it was an arcade game. Portal, StarCraft, Tron, and then the last one is Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? So those are the ones that are nominated at least to be going in to the Hall of Fame this year. Which I was looking at this list, and of these lists, not necessarily like who do you think should go in, but how many of these games did you play? There's 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 games. So of these 12, how many have you played?
Let me see. I have played 5 of them.
Yeah, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I've played 4.
Yeah, I've obviously played Animal Crossing.
Yep.
Definitely played Guitar Hero. That was like,
so good.
Oh my gosh. That was just incredible. I've played Farmville. I've played Portal. And I loved playing Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
I never played that one.
Like, oh my gosh, that was such a fun computer game. I had all of those games. I think they made like 6 or 7 Carmen Sandiego games, but they were all great. This is a solid list. I kind of like that it's from all different generations of gaming.
Yeah,
it makes it a lot harder to decide who should deserve it.
I know.
The fact that Animal Crossing and Guitar Hero are even in the running, though, is like huge. I really love that because those are very iconic games that I think of growing up. Like when I think Guitar Hero, I just have so many fun memories. Same with Animal Crossing, and then Portal's just freaking incredible.
Yeah, I really enjoy Guitar Hero, and that has my vote. Only just because I feel like it changed so much. Because like Guitar Hero coming out was just so like you had things like DDR, like Dance Dance Revolution. You had those type of music games. But man, when Guitar Hero came out, that thing exploded. And they made so many, and that's like what made Rock Band come out and stuff, and it was wild. And it looks like they do 4 games actually.
That win?
On average, because I'm looking at, so for 2020, Bejeweled, Centipede, King's Quest, and Minecraft got put in. In 2019, Colossal Cave Adventure, Microsoft Solitaire, Mortal Kombat, Super Mario Kart. 2018 had Final Fantasy VII, Space War, Tomb Raider, John Madden Football. 2017 had Red and Green Pokemon. So it looks like they do a few each year. It's been 4 since 2017. Looks like 2016 they did 6 games. That's when Legend of Zelda became a thing in there. And 2015 they did 6. So it seems like this is still a pretty new thing from what I could tell. 2015 was like the start of them doing this. And I think they're now sticking to maybe 4. So who knows? So we have 4 potential that could be going into the Hall of Fame. I really hope Guitar Hero is one of them. That would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to choose between Animal Crossing and Guitar Hero, it would be Guitar Hero hands down. Absolutely so.
Yeah, I just feel like that one, the impact that created on just gaming in general, because I don't know, there's obviously Animal Crossing, when it came out on the Switch recently, it hit people a different way. Like people who weren't even gamers were jumping onto it, I don't really feel like the GameCube version did it that much, but I do know that Guitar Hero did that. If you weren't a gamer but you saw that little plastic guitar, you knew that was for Guitar Hero. You knew oh, I've done that, or my brother did that, or my sister did that. You knew what the Guitar Hero guitar was.
Dude, I don't know how it happened, but I just remember all of a sudden Guitar Hero, Rock Band, all these music band games, somehow at one time they just all fell out of.
I know. Just
and
disappeared.
all of a sudden all of the clearance bins had all the guitars, all the stuffs, and I was like, what happened? What changed?
Yeah, it came and gone. It was just out of here.
Yeah, it was a fad for 5 years. You had 2 Guitar Hero games coming out every year, and Rock Band followed suit. But then all of a sudden they just disappeared, and you just don't see them anymore.
I wonder if it was a music rights type of deal. I wonder if maybe in the beginning, maybe things were just working well, and then I don't know, maybe they just ran out of music that they wanted to use for it.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's odd.
It's hard to think that would be the case, but I mean, it's definitely an expensive thing to buy all these songs, I'm sure, but they were making money off of the equipment, the guitars. I mean, I remember when I bought Guitar Hero, the guitar itself was $60.
Yeah.
It was expensive. Yeah. And all it is a piece of plastic that has button pressing in it that
yeah, I think it was $100, right, for the bundle to get the game and the guitar. It was 100, 110 or something like that.
Yeah, it was so expensive. Now and then I just remember as I was in college, just going to Walmart or something and seeing guitars on the clearance bin for $1.
Yeah.
And I was jeez, that was one of the fastest turnaround in gaming genres I've ever seen. But still, I think for the short short flame that it had, I thought it burned bright. So
oh yeah, no, definitely. And I hope that I hope Portal gets chosen, because I know that's also another pretty major one that hit home for a lot of people, definitely in the gaming community. So I do hope Portal gets put in there. I will say, I think really out of that list, those are the 2 I'm really hoping get in, Portal and Guitar Hero. And then I am kind of really, I'm satisfied whatever 4, because these are great choices. I really enjoy these. I don't know what pole position is, though. I will say that much. But outside of that, these look really cool.
I agree.
Did you ever play Tron on the arcade?
No, I don't think I actually ever did.
It's so hard. So hard. It's fun because you can still play it now, because they have all those arcade bars that are still around, and you can play a lot of these games still on the arcade, and Tron's always a classic. See, Tron is cool because so you have your classic joystick 2 mashable buttons for your classic arcades, and then you have maybe a wheel for a driving one, or maybe an airplane handle yoke thing. And with the Tron is so cool because it's you remember the PlayStations that were clear colored and see-through?
Yes. So they're so cool.
That's how the Tron handle is. It's blue and then it glows, and so you have this see-through-y, because it's futuristic, right? So you have this really cool joystick that doesn't look like any of the other joysticks in the arcade, and you just have a turny wheel, so no mashable buttons. So it catches your eye because it's different. You don't have A and B or whatever, or 1 and 2. You know, you don't have your typical joystick. You got this cool glowing blue thing and this dial that you twist and turn around and stuff. That is so much fun because you see it and you're like, that's different, and it looks so cool.
Dang, dude, that's awesome.
And it's so tough because it's like those games of like Snake, where you eat something and you get bigger, and so your trail gets bigger and you have to fight other people, and like you try to like get a trail around them so that they hit the one that you created, and it's cool. It's just so hard. Right? Yeah, they do. And it's difficult. Those old school arcade games are not easy.
They really are not, man. They're pretty intense.
Oh, for sure. And I did find the about page finally for this Hall of Fame, so I was just going to quickly read that to kind of give some background of this.
Yeah, go for it.
So it says, what are the best video games of all time? What are the most important? The World Video Game Hall of Fame at the Strong recognizes individual electronic games of all types: arcade, console, computer, handheld, and mobile, that have enjoyed popularity over a sustained period and have exerted influence on the video game industry or on popular culture and society in general. Inductees of the World Video Game Hall of Fame are Bejeweled, Centipede, Donkey Kong, Doom, Final Fantasy VII, Grand Theft Auto 3, Halo Combat Evolved, John Madden Football, King's Quest, The Legend of Zelda, Minecraft, The Oregon Trail, Pac-Man, Pokemon Red and Green, Pong, The Sims, Sonic the Hedgehog, Space Invaders, Space War, Street Fighter 2, Super Mario Bros., Tetris, Tomb Raider, and World of Warcraft are on permanent view in the museum's e-game revolution exhibit. Anyone can nominate a game to the World Video Game Hall of Fame. Final selections will be made on the advice of the Player's Choice Ballot and an international selection advisory committee composed of journalists, scholars, and other individuals familiar with the history of video games and their role in society. Whew.
We got to get on the ballot.
I know. I was like, wow, I didn't know that was a thing. So now, like, next time this comes around, I want to nominate a game too. I think it'd be fun.
I know. Seriously, that is such a cool thing. Good on them for doing something like this, man. Like, I'm glad we have something like this going on for video games. Like,
for sure. And it would be so. You know how much fun it would be to like be on this list of people looking at games, and I just feel like it would be just like a big fun history thing. Like you read a game out loud and you're like, oh, I remember that one. You read another one, oh, I know that one. And then there'll be some games you're like, oh, what is that? You like look them up. Oh, that looks so cool. Like, it would just be so much fun to see what other people think should be, you know, like Hall of Fame worthy video games.
Oh, absolutely, man. It'd be so freaking cool.
But this will definitely be a cool thing to come back to. So May 6th is what they said, is when they'll actually like announce of the 12 games who will be going in there. So we'll have to check back in May and see what goes in. But this will be kind of fun to maybe like keep up with throughout the years, just to in the back of the head of how things are rolling with it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. I love it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I was going to say this next one is super short. I really don't know too much about this game, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. But I did want to mention it just because I thought, you know, we were already talking, you know, a little Avengers today, and I just thought this was very interesting because this is talking on Guitar Hero coming and going. I feel like Crystal Dynamics Avengers game that came out in September of last year, which is crazy to think that game came out over 6 months ago. No one talks about it anymore.
No one.
And this was like supposed to be the game, like the big like games as a service game, that was supposed to be like as big as Fortnite, as big as like, you know, Battlefront, or like what have you. Like this is the most popular IP in America today. And how do you mess that up? And a lot of people poke fun at this game because, you know, when they were coming out with Marvel Avengers, Crystal Dynamics, Square Enix, they were releasing this game where you can play as all of the or not all, but like usually like the main Avengers cast through this like short storyline, and then the rest of the game is like a bunch of multiplayer like maps that you can play and do. From my understanding, all these cool like little like tasks and stuff like that. But like as a campaign, a single player campaign, it's pretty short from what I've heard. So it's honestly not even really a games as a service. It's more like a single player campaign with tacked on multiplayer that you can just continue to play over and over again and unlock more abilities and weapons and what have you, loot boxes, whatever. I don't think there's loot boxes, but it seems like it's that kind of style of game. And that's why it didn't sound like it was for me. A lot of people were really confused about what this game was, and that didn't help it any, I'm sure. Honestly, they should have just made this game a really great single player, huge, expansive story game, but I don't know why they didn't do that. I just don't get it. Anyway, when the game was released, they said this is a game that is going to have content after content after content, heroes after heroes after heroes, just coming out all the time, and just making it something that you want to come back and play always. And since September, they have only released 2 new heroes, and both of them are Hawkeye.
I'm looking at the website right now, and I was like, "How is there 2 Hawkeyes?"
I forget the name of the first. It's not like, so they just released Clint.
Yeah, Kate Bishop is the first one.
Is Kate Bishop the daughter of Clint?
I got no idea who she is. I'll be honest.
Anyway. You know, you have a great opening cast when the game comes out. You got Thor, Hulk, Iron Man, the main Avengers, basically.
Yeah.
Along with like some newbies that we haven't seen in the movies yet, like Miss Marvel. And it just blows my mind that in over 6 months, they have only released 2 heroes, both of which basically are the same person or the same hero. And Crystal Dynamics is just radio silent about when updates to this game are happening, what's coming down the pipe for 2021. And this game fell off everyone's gaming list because there was just nothing else to do. People finished all of the content within the game in like 2 weeks because apparently it was like really fun to play, which I don't doubt. I feel like it'd be really super cool to.
Oh no, I lost Max. He said it was going to be super cool to play. I don't know what else he was going to say. You know, I will say, Max always cuts out. Oh, he's back. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out. I heard it looked really super fun to play, then it just stopped.
Oh, that's weird. I don't know. I'll try to go back to where it was.
I was like, why is it fun to play?
Why? He was joking. It's not. No. Like, was I talking about Captain America?
No, you were just saying how like the game looked really fun and like could have been super fun to play, but. And then just,
right.
Went
like
away.
It just seemed that there was really no content was what I was saying when I got cut out, where I was just saying, you know, I feel like people played this game for 2 weeks, finished all the single player campaign content, jumped into the multiplayer content, got everything there. It was the same missions over and over again. And finally we're just like, all right, I'm good for now. I'll come back in a month when a new hero is available, kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. And I'm on their main website right now. This game looks lame. I'm just like watching. It has this like 20, no, maybe like 15-second little GIF thing going on. And this game just looks lame. I'm looking at the characters. I just don't think it looks that cool. Like the Hulk is the only one I think looks kind of cool, but he's also the Hulk, so like. I mean, he better.
Right.
But outside of him, like the other characters just don't look as fun. Like Black Widow looks a little weird. Miss Marvel, she's all right, I guess. The 2 Hawkeyes look really dumb. I don't.
Yeah, it baffles me how they screwed this up so royally.
It's the freaking Avengers, man. Endgame just happened. People are going nuts over Marvel.
Right. They want more content, and you have a video game that should be all about the Avengers, and nothing is happening.
Yeah, what the heck?
Here's Clint. Here's the next Hawkeye, who is literally the least famous Avenger. I feel like in a lot of ways.
Dude, I mean, if they were going to do this, they should have just made like an MMO. They should have just done some like Elder Scrolls Online, or like the DC universe has that's the DC Comics online thing. I played the heck out of that game. That was fun. Yeah. They should have just done that. They should have just been like, you know what, whatever, let's just have you be able to create your own superhero in the Marvel universe, join the Avengers, you get to do quest lines. Because I feel like that would have been more use of their time, because it's like you said, they're not giving us anything, so it's like, I don't know, I feel like this is just wasted potential.
It is. That's exactly what it feels like. It feels like wasted potential. And like, now I will say this, like during the presentation, like they did release some announcements that I wanted to go over super quick. Most of these seem very but the big thing that I wanted to touch on, like I don't know what any of this means, but I'm just going to read it for a minute. But they basically outlined for 2021 content roadmap. They said they're going to release the Tachyon Anomaly, which is stemming from the events of Operation Taking Aim and Future Imperfect. Don't know what any of that means, but I guess it's additional story content for that storyline in the game, so that's kind of cool.
Okay.
But then they're talking about Cosmic Cube, which is really...
Cosmic Cube.
Yeah, which it's like reality-bending power loops Old Man Hawkeye into the fray.
That's what, if you go on their main website, you randomly see Hawkeye, but he has gray hair and looks super old, and there's like really old Hulk that also has gray hair. That must be what they're talking. That must be what they're talking about.
And then you got Omega level threats, which are just like bigger challenges, I guess. Wasteland Patrol, which is a new biome in the game, so it's just a new map. And then really the only big thing of any substance, in my opinion, to make note of, as someone who's never played the game, so I can only speak from my perspective, is the War for Wakanda. They have announced that they are going to release Black Panther as a playable superhero later this year, and he'll have his own expansion and own storyline with Villain Claw for, I assume, taking back his home of Wakanda, or protecting it from Claw, I would imagine. So I thought that was kind of cool. Like I was like, oh, cool. Like, but these kind of expansions, I feel like we should have had 2 of these by now. Like expansions are no joke. I mean, I'm sure that they take time to create, but it just, to your point, it seems like wasted potential. It seems like we should have had something on this scale 3 months ago.
Yeah.
To keep people's attention on this game. This seems way too far out. And at this point, that's the question. Who is playing Avengers anymore? If you're going to make a games as a service game, you have to constantly be bringing out content that's going to bring players back to play. And Square Enix did not. They squandered that with this game. And it's such cool ideas that... And honestly, like the more I talk about it, I was kind of saying how, I would have played this if it was a single player game. I don't know how you could make an Avengers single player game. I really don't, because like there's so many heroes, so much story to tell. I agree. I feel like it should have either been an MMO or just like a big multiplayer game with a very like small amount of story, but just being able to play as the Avengers, like wreck ship, and just like. Yeah, I feel like that would have done so much better.
What's that other Marvel Ultimate Alliance? Like,
those are great games.
Those are awesome. And I feel like this was trying to be that, but obviously more 3D, all that kind of stuff.
Like on a higher scale. Yeah.
What I'm confused is, so you have to buy these characters too? Because I see there's like a hero challenge card, and Kate Bishop's and Hawkeye both are costing 1,000 credits. What looks like 500 credits is $5, so you need $10 to buy their hero card. I wonder if that means you pay $10 then just for that one character, or do you get the character if you own the game and the hero cards are different? They don't really explain this all that much. I'm kind of confused.
From what I understand, I hear you get the heroes for free. Like the War for Wakanda, they've announced is going to be a free expansion.
Okay.
I think like the cards and like, you know, certain, I don't know. I really don't know how this stuff works.
Yeah.
I really don't enjoy playing games as service. But that's just me. I'm more of a single storyline kind of gamer, but I just wanted to bring that up as like a quick hit, just because I thought that was interesting. I was like, man, like I just wanted to kind of talk on like how did this get squandered so badly? Like this should have been a huge thing that we are talking about for years. You know, like there's so much material to pull from, and they're just not doing it justice. It makes me think like I read somewhere today, like someone was talking about who cares about Cyberpunk 2077 anymore. The game came out in November of last year, and their latest patch is just to fix police rates in cars. It's just like, what are we doing? Like, is this, not to mention the unbelievable fact that game is still no longer available on the PlayStation Store.
Still, yeah, it's nuts.
Still to this day, like, how is this game gonna
profit margin
out in a final state? And it's like no one talks about Cyberpunk anymore because why? Like,
no one cares.
The gaming industry is moving so fast. It's like you have to create something of substance. You can't really go half in, half out on games anymore if you want them to succeed, which is good. I feel like in a lot of ways, but at the same time, it's so sad when you see something mismanaged like this. It's like, how did you mess this up so badly?
Yeah, I'm like looking. I'm even surprised that they have a PS5 enhanced edition, which I guess does say it goes 60 frames, native 4K. I'm just like, wow, you guys even put the time in to make a PS5, potential, PS5 enhanced version of this. But it's like, so what? It looks so lame. It's funny, man. Like Cyberpunk 2077 was literally our podcast for like 7 episodes.
Yep, it sure
and
was.
And now I forget about it. Peter brought up Cyberpunk maybe like 2 days ago, and I legit in my head was, oh yeah, I forgot that game was a thing. You could buy that game. I'm looking at it right now. You could buy that game from Walmart for $34.
Golly, man. It's so sad. I know. I remember if you listen to our earlier podcast, we were praising this game, like not praising it, but we were like so hyped for it. We like CD Projekt Red had given us no reason to not trust them, that they would deliver this incredible game, and all their marketing backed that. And then, I mean, I won't talk about it here because we've talked about it for hours, but like it's just baffling how that game came out.
That's sad. It is so sad. But yeah, Marvel, it's like, how do you mess that up, right? Like, how do you,
right?
Especially because I mean, like, and this, I guess, like segueing into what we're going to be talking about now, which is Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like, you got this show, you got WandaVision, we got a Black Widow coming up. I mean, people are just fanboy girling over anything Marvel. I want it. I want more movies. These shows just make me want more movies. It makes me really want to go out and start like collecting some more comics again. I mainly collect DC stuff, but this has made me really want to get more Marvel comics now. Like, we want that. It's like, dude, just, I don't know, make the game. We want that too. Yeah. I want a good Marvel game.
Seriously. But yeah, let's to your point, let's dive into it. I know it's going to be spoiler free, so it'll just be a quick hit of
how we feel and all that
episode. Yeah, we'll need to be really careful because it just came out today.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, did we ever confirm if it's only going to be 6 episodes? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. When you look up the way I found that out is just through IMDb. Yeah, because if you go on there and you it always shows how many episodes someone appears in, and so you can see right here that Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan are in it for 6 episodes, and since they are the main, so you could tell that it's 6 episodes total, because WandaVision, how many was that, 12 or 11 or 10? I actually don't even remember. 9.
It was 9. Yeah.
9. Okay, you can see the same on there for the 2 leads, so which makes sense. It is the show lengths are roughly double that of WandaVision.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get the same, maybe slightly more screen time out of this show, but
yeah. And now, just kind of going into the review of it, I know actually that we both felt kind of differently about it, which is super exciting actually to me. I like that we both have very different opinions on it, but I wanted to ask, like, did you want me to go first, or did you want to go first on your just overall thoughts of the first episode, without getting into the plot or anything?
Yeah, I don't mind. I can go first.
Okay.
So Peter and I, we just watched it right before I jumped on, and I thought it was good. I thought it was cool, but it was like, it was all right, like,
yeah.
I feel like for a pilot, I wished it was going to pull me in a little bit more. I'm actually more excited for the show after watching the trailer than I was after watching the first episode, which is kind of funny. So if you see the trailer, you can see like a lot of what's to come, I would assume, just based off of obviously like how the trailer goes. And I'm really hyped for the show. This would be great. I don't know. I felt like the first one was like, it's all right. Like, they have obviously more combat than WandaVision. It's more. I definitely think this is going to be more combat based. They do a good job with the combat, because you have 2 good like combat leading characters. Like Wanda and Vision weren't really combat-y, even in like Endgame and stuff. Like, obviously Wanda and Vision are massively powerful, but a lot of screen time with them is like talking and chatting and whatnot, where Falcon, Winter Soldier, when you see them, they're pretty much always kicking butt. So I do like that aspect of it. I don't know, for whatever reason it didn't like grasp me really strong. And it made me, like, Peter put it pretty well. He was like, the one thing that kind of stinks about these TV shows is when you watch them on this like weekly basis, they don't really give you that nice sense of completion. And I don't know, it wasn't like fully giving me like like I'm so like thrilled for the next episode like I was with Wanda. With Wanda, when I would watch even like the first one, I was like, what is going on? I was like, what is happening? With this, I was kind of just like, oh yeah, okay, cool, nice. So, but it was, if I had to give it like a 10 rating, right? 5 is your average TV show, and 6 and above are obviously above average, 10 being like straight perfection. I would give it like a really, like, visuals are always really good. I felt like that was really strong on this one. I'd probably say like a good like 7.5, maybe even 8, just because I do feel like visuals and appeal, and I think these are really strong. Well, not really strong actors. They're strong actors. It was good. It was 7.5, but I wasn't as like, dang, give me that second episode like I was in WandaVision. So
yeah. No, that's good. I was actually going to give it the same rating.
Nice.
probably an 8 for me.
Okay.
Overall, just going on to my side, I feel like I enjoyed the episode slightly more than you, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I feel like the combat was super strong. Disney definitely put in a lot of budget for this one. I feel like they were able to save a lot of money on effects in Wanda outside of the final episodes. And it kind of showed. I don't like. We already did our spoiler cast for WandaVision, but the last episode of Wanda, there were a few moments where the CG, where I was like, okay, are we watching Halloween Town? Like, what's going on here with people levitating in broad daylight? It was still fantastic. I love WandaVision so much. I still love it. I know that's a show I want to revisit one day. With this, I knew from the trailer that we were heading into much more, like you said, a more traditional style of show. That's very drama and suspense oriented. You know, like Captain America, the movies were always very much espionage movies. Sorry, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay, cool. Now I'm scared I'm going to lose audio again.
No,
Sorry,
no,
I just want to make sure. You know, like a very traditional espionage action type flick. And just from I got to be careful. I'm really bad at this kind of stuff.
Not spoil it.
Yeah, I'm trying not to get too deep into it. Just from the quality of the scenes, from the events that happen in the episode, I can tell we're at a much higher. We're starting off with a much higher budget than we had in Wanda, I would say. In some ways, I also agree with you. I don't believe that, you know, everyone knows the two main leads are the title cards. You know, just like with WandaVision, we have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't feel like their acting is super phenomenal. I feel like you know, I feel like Olsen and I always forget his name.
I know, me too. Something with a B, right?
Yeah, he's an incredible actor. They were phenomenal. Like they were like
Paul
Bettany. Thank you. They were like Golden Globe level nominated acting chops in that show. Like, it was so good. Whereas in this, I feel like they're very strong. I like their characters, but I don't feel like the acting is top tier.
No, it's kind of.
And really, it's not really spoilers because they really act the same way that they did in all of the movies before this.
Yeah.
Bucky is just very smoldering. He's just very much like stoic and silent, and I get it. Like, that's very much his character as the Winter Soldier. But it kind of grows. It kind of wanes on you as the episode goes on. I'm just like, all right, dude, like why are you acting this aloof? And then Falcon is almost on the other side. I really actually enjoyed his story in this first episode more. I really love what they were doing with it. I won't go into what it is.
With who's? Sorry, I missed that. With who's?
With Falcon.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I liked where his story is heading.
Yeah.
I honestly love where both of their stories are heading. Quite honestly, like I feel like this show does a great job.
Oh no. We lost him again. We won't know what this show was a great job of. I tell you, every time Max cuts out, it's at beautiful parts. Oh, he's coming back.
Am I back?
You're back. Dude, your cutouts are actually hilarious because it's always like they do a great job of, and then there's nothing. And you're like, what is it? I want to know.
At least I'm coming back fast. I don't know. Gosh. Okay. I was saying, they do a great job of just bringing these characters, like saying like it feels realistic that they're coming back from the movies of like, okay, this makes sense that they're in the place that they are after all the events that we've seen previously.
Yeah, their placement's really good.
Yeah, I felt like that was very consistent. I actually really love both sides of the story. Falcon, like I said, more so, but I feel like Bucky's story is very intense, very sad. But I really love it. I love kind of what they're doing with this character, and I can't wait to see more of it. And I won't keep talking about it because for all of you listeners out there, I have a really bad reputation of spoiling things just because I get really impassioned about what I watch. I love entertainment so much. If you couldn't tell, but I sometimes can talk too much about it. So,
well, I'm going to try. If you can answer this without doing spoilers, I just want to ask, like,
Okay.
Of the two, who do you think should be Captain America?
Oh, Falcon.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Team Winter Soldier. I really want. I don't think it's gonna happen. I guess it's like a Falcon thing, but I really like Bucky as a Captain America. I only say it because, like, I don't know, like Falcon's cool and all, but I just like Bucky more.
No, I mean, I get it. Yeah, I think that the symbol of Captain America, I don't feel like with the things, even against his will, that Bucky has done, I just don't know if he can.
He's got a more villainous past for sure.
Right, but it's very hard. His character arc throughout this entire movie series has been really hard to kind of like. It seems very. I feel like out of all the heroes in these movies, his is the most tropey.
Yeah,
in the way of like amnesia and mental hijacking, you know what I mean? And so it's like, are we ever seeing, is this the real Bucky who's really stoic and sad, or is this the Winter Soldier assassin Bucky that's really stoic and sad? Like you know, it's like
no, for sure.
So I really hope by the end of this show we see a huge transformation. I think we'll see a huge transformation for them both. But my hope is that Sam is the one that takes the mantle, or maybe neither of them do. Maybe it is the thing where Captain America, the mantle maybe just has to be let go. We don't know.
Maybe he'll come back from the past and be like, you know what? It was kind of lame going back there. I want to come back to the future.
Yeah, right. He'll stay with Peggy till he'll be with Peggy for the rest of the days.
Well, that's cool. It'll be fun to like talk about the show more as like as some time comes on, and we'll kind of see how things unfold. And like Max said, we'll wrap up the series whenever that's done in the next month and a half or so. We'll do a big one for that. But speaking of things, though, coming up, we like to always talk about some games that are coming up on the horizon. And one game that it's not on this list that I'm looking at, but I'm pretty sure is coming out soon, is Biomutant. Isn't that for this month?
I thought it was. Let me look it up.
So I think
delayed again.
I'm not sure.
No one talks about this game.
I know. It drives me nuts because I think it's going to be fun.
I think so too. Yeah, it got delayed. May 25th.
Oh, May 25th now. Oh, drat. All right. Well,
no.
Never mind, friends. It'll be coming in May. But outside of that, we do have some games that are coming up. I usually like to go about a week out, so I will just read some stuff off until about the 26th. So like Max said, Marvel Avengers finally hit like the next gen. That was yesterday. Can't Drive This, Plants vs. Zombies, Battle for the Neighborville, Root Film, Overcooked, All You Can Eat, Story of Seasons, Pioneer of Olive Town. Story of Seasons is actually a pretty fun game.
That's what is it? What do they call it? Oh, gee. Harvest Moon.
Right? Yes, it's definitely that like style of it, like the farming simulator stuff.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Sorry, continue.
No, you're good. Love, Live, School Idol Festival, After School Wawa Home Meeting. That is a PS4 game. Paradise Lost, Black Legend, Dandy Ace, Darkwa with a Q, Complete Edition.
Dude, that's totally just dark, and they put a Q in there just to be super edgelordy. Oh, Lord.
Yakuza 6, The Song of Life, coming to the Xbox and PC. Balan Wonderland on the 26th. Genesis Noir, It Takes Two. Monster Hunter Rise, which that's the new Monster Hunter game, which is interesting because that's
going to be a big one.
Yeah, it's Switch only, which I was a little sad about because I thought the PlayStation one and like the other console one was so strong. I was like, damn, why would you go just to like Switch only? Anyways, Genesis Noir, I already said that one. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 are coming to the next gen, and Neptunia Virtual Stars. It's kind of Oh, and Disco Elysium Final Cut will be coming out on the 30th. That'll
I can't wait to try that game.
Yeah. So out of this whole list, Disco Elysium is probably the one game that's kind of excited to come out.
It is a slow year, man. It always is when new come out. But like, dude, I can't wait for next year. I feel like next year is going to be like going crazy on games.
I feel like games and movies, like a bunch of stuff is going to be like going on. Oh, look at this. So Peter's actually in the chat right now, and he said Monster Hunter Rise was being developed alongside of Monster Hunter World. Oh, that's why it was like a Switch only thing. It wasn't developed after, it was happening at the same time. Okay. Because see, I thought it was a step back, and I was like, that was lame. Like, you guys made Monster Hunter World, which was massive, especially because it was on all these different systems. It's like, why would you go Switch only? But that makes sense. So they probably weren't anticipating maybe like as much as like Monster Hunter World blew up, but okay.
Right.
That's cool. That is very cool. But yeah, Disco Elysium, I know you've been talking about that one. So that'll be coming out 2 Tuesdays from now.
Yep. 2 Tuesdays.
That will be coming out for PS5. That'll be nice.
Whoop, whoop.
Oh, here's a question I have for you. When you get, now that you have a PC and a PS5, do you find it hard to determine which one you want to get it on? Or do you kind of just default to the PS5?
You know, that's a very good question.
Because I even struggle too. I'm struggling on that one.
You know, normally, I think for the bigger games, I would say I would do it on my PS5. Disco Elysium to me is a perfect PC game.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, like with my PS5, it's downstairs, it's on the main TV. I really don't get that much time to play on it that much anymore.
Yeah.
You know, like I maybe get a few hours in the morning before Hudson wakes up if I get up super early to have like some me time. But most of my gaming right now is on my PC.
Yeah.
And I usually play it in the evenings while we're watching TV or watching Big Bang Theory or something, and just, you know, grinding out Yakuza. And I feel like I'm going to be going to PC for, I would say, some of the smaller games, but like big ones like God of War, for instance, or well, I guess that's a Sony exclusive. You know,
no, I know what you mean for sure. Oh no, he cut again. But yeah, I know what Max is definitely trying to say, because I'm definitely in the same boat of that one. I've been trying to juggle
playing them on my.
Oh,
yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool.
It's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that.
Yeah, I totally understood what you meant by like major titles for sure, because the experience is definitely nice. I mean, I will say I do like envy your laptop situation too. I do feel that like one of my goals for like the end of the year, I have a MacBook right now that I don't I used to use my MacBook for programming, but I don't really need to anymore. And I'm kind of hoping one day I can like sell it, make some good money, and get a laptop as well that can actually game off of.
Nice. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I do get like, it is kind of nice to be able to have like the laptop version, whereas if I want to play PC, I have to like go in the office room, get on the chair, desk, and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it would be kind of nice just to like have it on my lap, be like chilling on the couch or something like that, you know? So.
Oh yeah, it's really fun. I like it a lot.
You definitely like handheld a in a way, you know? It's just kind of nice.
For sure.
So we talked about games that are coming up. We also like to talk about games that are now. By that I mean just games that we are playing. Our list is very interesting this week because we're actually playing the same. Yeah, I don't think we've done that yet. I was thinking about that. I think this is the first time we're both playing the same game.
It is,
which is dope. So I'm still playing RuneScape like I always do.
Always.
Max is still playing Assassin's Creed like he has been. But what game are we both now playing?
We're both playing Yakuza Like a Dragon.
And it's great.
And it's phenomenal.
It's
freaking phenomenal.
It's so good.
Like, I can't give this game enough praise. Like, I wish I had played this last year, because this definitely would have been on my best games of the year.
Right?
Like,
This surprised me.
Yeah, this surprised me too. I was not expecting this to be as good as it is. I'm 70 hours into this game.
Wow, that's nice.
Because I'm 100%ing. I'm completing it all the way, like doing everything. And because of that, story wise, I'm like on chapter 11 out of 15. Finally unlocked all the characters that you get, and it's just still grabbing me. The story's simple enough to understand, to follow, even though it is like really cool, like little plot twists here and there that obviously you would see coming. But just the mini games, the style, the like every little like small detail that they put into this thing, and it's so freaking funny.
It is very funny.
This game is hilarious. It's heartfelt. It's earnest. Like, I mean, I just texted you today. I got to a point in the game over my lunch today, and I was in tears. Like, I was like, dang it, they got me. Like, I did not like see. I never would have thought I would cry in a Yakuza game, and they got me. They just. I love Ichiban. This character is such a great person. Like, he's just such a good person. And it's just so refreshing to play as someone who is just inherently good.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he's beating the crap out of thugs. Like you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Nowadays you play games and you're usually a gray person, or you're a little...
Yeah, you don't really know who you are.
Right, exactly. And in this game, like, no, this game defines, like, you are a man that has sacrificed everything for everyone else. You're always like, he's the most selfless character in this game. And like, I think there's a line, it's like you need to start living for yourself. And Ichiban says, I am living for myself. I choose to live to protect the people I care about. Like, and so it's just like, oh, it's so powerful. And it's just I love him as a character. And I'll tell you what, man, they need to just keep making these games, like crank out one every 2 years, please. Like, I will buy it. I will play it. Let me keep playing as Ichiban, because
I'm curious to see if they'll keep the style of it too. I know this one is definitely this is the first time they've ditched that like combat style, because it is normally like a fighting style game. Right. Outside of that, it's similar with like the comedy, the storylines, and like the mini games especially. But like, that was the biggest change of doing this more turn-based stuff. And I really do hope they keep it. If they do, I'll definitely be getting whatever the next Yakuza game is.
Same, yeah. I hope that we stay as Ichiban too, because this is technically Yakuza 7. And like there's Yakuza 0 all the way to Yakuza 6. You play as Kiryu, the protagonist from the original series, or saga, I should say, because this is a whole new start. But you play through his entire life. So you play from him from like age 18 to age like 65.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so like, it would be so cool if we could do the same thing with Ichiban. I'm just like, let's just walk through his life with him.
Heck yeah, I'd love that. That'd be great.
Yeah, me too. Keep the hair, man. Just keep the
yeah,
the frayed hair, electrified hair. I don't even know what you call it. Is it a perm? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is a perm.
Is it a perm?
I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, so Max and I definitely highly recommend the game. You can get it on all the platforms too. It's not bound by PlayStation or anything like that. So definitely highly recommend it. It's very fun. It's been keeping us both entertained. The mini games alone is like their own game.
Yep.
So
absolutely.
Very, very cool stuff. I'm glad we're finally playing the same game. That's kind of fun too.
It is. It's really fun to see where we're both at in it, and the things that we like the most out of it. I think we both can grab things that the other person doesn't see. Like, and so like I really like that a lot.
Yeah. So before we hit kind of our final thing of the entertainment of the week, you know what's really funny about the podcast? I think every week you intro with saying it's going to be a light one this week, and we always end around the same time.
always at that 90-minute mark, or like 110 minutes or something.
Every time you've said it, you've been like, all right, guys, it might be a short one. We always end around the same time.
See, what I need to do next week is I just need to say that it's going to be a heavy week. It's going to be a heavy topic day. And that'll be the week that we end at like an hour 10.
I just thought it was so funny whenever you say it, I'm always just like, all right, let's see how long it takes us. We're always around the same. We couldn't go differently on this time if we tried. It's so, I don't know why. And it works so perfectly because it's like right after your son goes to bed, and then like, I know like your wife and I think like Julia hang out for a little bit, and like by the time they start wanting to kind of like head their ways, it's like we're finishing up the podcast. It really, I don't know how we do it, but it just fits that sweet spot.
It is. It's a sweet spot. I mean, they're downstairs watching crap, like whatever they want to watch,
Hell yeah. Give them their time.
Yeah. I'm fine with it, man.
Well, cool. All right. Well, okay. For those who are listening, how do we want to tell them to live their fun time this week? What is your entertainment, my friend?
Okay, so my entertainment of the week, I try to always like rotate between different types of entertainment every week. This week, I wanted to do another book. It's been quite a while since I've done that. And the book I wanted to nominate is really the first book in a trilogy of books. They're very new books written by R.F. Kuang, and this book is called The Poppy War. And so this is a war fantasy novel based off of modern Chinese history. And so it's set in like old like Chinese era. But the author studied modern Chinese history when she was in college. And this was her debut novel, and it was huge. Like it is so well written. And I'm just going to read the back cover summary real quick for you.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give you an idea of it. So, when war orphan Rin aced the Keiju, the empire-wide test to find the most talented youth to learn at the academies, she surprised everyone. Test officials, the guardians who wanted to marry her off and further their criminal enterprise, and even herself. But being a dark-skinned peasant girl from the south is not easy at Singard, the most elite military school in Nikon. Targeted by rival classmates for her color, poverty, and gender, Rin discovers that gods long thought dead are very much alive, and that she possesses a lethal, unearthly power, an aptitude for the nearly mythical art of shamanism that can be a weapon the Empire desperately needs. While Nikara is at peace, its enemy and former occupiers, the Federation of Mugen, bides its time, and a third Poppy War is just a spark away. Rin's shamanic powers may be the only way to save her people. Yet as she discovers more about the god that has chosen her, the vengeful phoenix, she fears that winning the war may cost her her humanity, and it may already be too late.
Dang.
That is the back cover. This book is freaking incredible. I like the first half of it. As the summary states, she goes to this elite military school to become a soldier. The first half of the book is like Harry Potter meets My Hero Academia. And then the second half is all war. It's just all battle. It's all like, and it does not pull any punches. This is very visceral, very dark kind of warfare. But this is very much a book about Chinese war between, like this federation, and it brings into the idea of Chinese gods, which I've always been really interested in Chinese mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so cool how she finds this power to be able to call from they call them the pantheon of gods, and she can call on the power of one of them on whichever one that chooses her, and the one that chooses her, and it's not a spoiler because it's part of the book, or part of the summary, but who chooses her is the Phoenix, a very vengeful god. And so this story is very sweeping. It's fast paced. Like I read this book in a week. It just grabbed me and did not let go.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it for anyone that loves fantasy, that really loves Chinese mythology or wants to learn more about Chinese history, because even though this is fantasy, this is very much so fantasy formulaic setup of actual Chinese war that happened. And I always love this kind of stuff where fantasy gets melded with actual modern history. So highly recommend, and you should read this book. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's kind of cool that you picked a Chinese mythology, whereas mine is Greek mythology. Because I'm rereading the Percy Jackson series again. And so my recommendation for the week is the Percy Jackson series. And the first one in the series is Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief is the first book. The whole series of Percy Jackson is pretty big. There's 10 books in total, but like the Percy Jackson and the Olympians is like the first 5 where you follow him, and then there's like a second set that starts off with I think the Lost Hero.
Where it goes into Roman mythology, right? Yeah,
it combines the two still. Like there's both Greek and Roman, but they like kickstarts the Roman one on that one. So if you've more than likely heard about these ones because there was the 2 movies that were made for it, and I think a TV show got announced for Disney Plus.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, so like with all this coming, I definitely think it's like a pretty good time to get to them, because similar to what Max was saying with his book, the Percy Jacksons are also very easy to read. Rick Riordan does a good job of the book is like, I'm not saying like it's meant for kids, because there are some parts that are pretty deep and
it's young adult, I would say.
Yeah, and so it's like it's a nice read. It's not too hard or not too complicated or anything like that, and it really pulls you in. So I definitely suggest reading this one, especially because of all the new fun stuff that are going to be coming out on like Disney Plus and everything. It'll be kind of cool. Hopefully like the show does well, and hopefully just brings more people to want to read the series, because outside of like the first 5, Rick Riordan in general just does really good books when it comes to mythology. Like he's done Roman, Greek, he's done Norse. I think he's
Egyptian.
Yep, Egyptian. So he really does a good job when it comes to this mythological and combining it. They're all like modern day plus the mythological. So like you're taking place in modern day society of like, for example, Amazon, where everybody buys stuff, is actually run by like mythological creatures. That's why it's so fast and whatnot. So it's really fun to kind of see how he ties in just everyday life with mythological creatures in this like lifestyle, sort of like Harry Potter, right? Like these wizards and witches live amongst us, and what you might think is just a normal human thing is actually, it's bound by magic, and you just can't see it because you're non-magic or whatnot. So
you're a really muggle.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a really good series. So I think 2 solid books to recommend. Mythology is great. If you like it, dive right in.
Yeah, I'm so glad you did that. I love Rick Riordan and his books. I haven't read the Percy Jackson books in a very long time, but I have the original 5 on the bookshelf, and you're making me want to reread them again. They are quick reads, but they are very rich in Greek mythology, and it's such a great way to introduce it. And such great books
for sure. Well, cool. Anything else you want to touch on before we say goodbye?
No, that was it. I feel like we touched on everything right at the beginning of the show. Yeah, I think we're ready to wrap up episode 12. Please tell me that we're under an hour and 40 minutes at least.
We are at an hour and 29 and 40 seconds.
All right, let's hold out for 20 seconds and we'll be right at 90 minutes.
There we go. So as always, you'll always be able to find us on all the platforms. We are live right now on YouTube. So if you want to join us in live, we always go live 7:30 on Fridays. and you can join us here. You can also watch the podcast / listen to it after the stream is done on YouTube, where it gets uploaded, as well as Simplecast, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify podcasts. So we always have those shows go out on the podcast sites around 9 o'clock on Saturday morning following the episode. So if you're kind of wanting the content a little faster, join us live 7:30 Eastern time every Friday, where we tell you all the good news. We talk about upcoming games we're playing, entertainment, and typically around 4 major topics. Make sure to just follow us on our platforms. We have our Twitter accounts. We have obviously YouTube you can follow us on. I think you can even do reviews on iTunes podcast, I think. So if you would like to, definitely drop us a nice review, thumbs up, like, and all that kind of jazz. Outside of that, I think that's it. I think I hit them all.
I think we're good.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you all for listening, for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.
Deuces.